Hey guys, welcome back to the family channel. This one won't let me be alone, so we are gonna tell you about our birth story, how we came to love each other. He's about 2 months old now. It's so nice and exciting, and I got a little Velcro baby who doesn't want to leave my side. So yeah, we're gonna tell you about your birth story. So I was scheduled for an induction November 7th at 9 a.m. I think, but I knew that I would have to eat beforehand or be starving, right? And when I got to the hospital, my sugar was too high. They did not want to induce me yet until my sugars were lowered, but they refused to give me insulin or anything like that. They just wanted it to happen naturally. So I waited 8 hours before even being induced, which kind of sucked. But then after a little over probably 8 hours, I got to have the medicine that induces you. And the contractions started. So you can up the dose of induction medicine. I think it was like Pipsin or something they said. In like units of 2, you start off at like 2 and then you go to 4 and then 6 and you can go all the way up to like 15 or something. And I got to about 6 or 8 when Mr. Kylo's heart rate dropped. So they cut it immediately. They were like back down to 2. And then after that, every time we got to 4, his heart rate would drop. And they were really scared. They were like, we might just have to take you C-section because this is clearly not working. It became the next day. Okay, November 8th, probably about like noon. I finally found a position that his heart rate would be okay in. So I had to sit up with my legs like frog styled, like all the way sitting up, like almost leaning forward, pushing him like out pretty much. Yeah, it was not a comfortable position, especially with contractions, but that's okay. So I ended up getting an epidural the night before because once they got to, well, maybe not the night before, maybe the morning of, I don't know, really. But I got an epidural and got my catheter in. Hi, honey. And once the epidural was there, like I wanted to just sleep. I was so comfortable. I wanted to sleep. And I couldn't because I had to sit up with my legs in frog position until Mr. Mans decided he wanted to grace us with his presence. About 4:45, they were like, you're 10 centimeters dilated. We're about to start pushing. Let's get together. They put my legs in the stirrups. I could not move them. I could not feel them. The nurse was so annoyed with me the whole time. She was like, I'm about to have them come in here and lower your epidural because you're not blah, 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 blah. You don't feel the pain, so you're not trying to push him out. And I was like, all right, you're rude. You know, I was trying to push him out. I was doing my best, okay? First time giving birth. Hi. Mwah. So anyways, about 5, we started pushing and I literally had a panic attack. My heart dropped. My heart dropped, my oxygen dropped. I couldn't breathe. I was like, I can't breathe. Like, they had to stop for 15 minutes. They gave me a Gatorade. It was not sugar-free. So they're idiots. I don't know. I had 1 sip because it was not sugar-free. And I didn't want my sugar to spike. And they'd be like, okay, we gotta wait. Or we gotta take you C-section. It's emergency, you know. So I only had a quick sip. And like, I just breathed and like calmed down a second. Sorry, he spit his binky out. Yeah. And then after about an hour, probably a little under of pushing, 6:06, my Kylo James was born. They had to use the like things to help spread and get him out. So he has a little cut on his head from that. But he was purple when he came out. They immediately took him to the side. He was set on me for maybe 1 second, and they took him to the side to try to get him to breathe. He was so swollen, so purple, and they were like he was not crying for a good minute, and they were like, he's fine, he's okay, he's okay. And I was like, I couldn't even see where he was. Like, there was so much stuff in the way. And my mom was really worried. Like, everyone was crying. My mom was there and Chris was there. He was crying really bad too. My mom ended up cutting the cord. I'm like jumping all over the place. I don't know how. I can't talk in a full, sentence, apparently. So anyways, they took him immediately to the NICU. I did not hold him. I could not see him. He was just in the NICU. And then, when we switched rooms, they did the afterbirth and all that. No memory of it, honestly. I just remember them having this giant tub of swoosh, swoosh grossness. So that was fun. They cleaned up and they were like, okay, you're gonna, we'll give you 1 minute and then we'll let you pack your stuff and we'll move you to rooms. Because obviously, you don't want the gross goosh crap in here. So after they did that, I moved rooms and I finally could eat. My mom brought me Subway and I was like halfway through my sub and I just felt whoosh, like down there. I was like, uh-oh. And they warned me to watch out for that because that's like, bad. And so my nurse came in and I was like half out of it. I was like, I think I just, bled everywhere. And she was like, uh-oh, and she called a resident and they cathetered me again. I had 2 full IV bags of pee. They were like, your baby must have been blocking like your bladder because your catheter was like not even halfway full in the birth room, so got that. And then they like literally reached inside of me and pulled all the clots out. I don't remember what it's called, but I guess like you get giant clots of blood and that's, deadly. So when I was stood up to change my pad and underwear that I was in and my gown too, I nearly passed out. Somebody was trying to talk to me and I literally was like I was about to fall down, and my nurse was right there and she like held me up, poor girl, held me the whole time and then helped me sit down and everything. And I got morphine because they were up inside of me with their hands, and so I couldn't even see my baby that night. Not that I probably would have been able to anyway, but the next morning they were like, yeah, you can see him whenever you want. This is the room number. And I didn't even know where the NICU was, okay? So I wandered the halls for a good minute, and then I found a nurse, and I was like, where's the NICU? And you have to leave the birth center, and then, like, turn, and then there's the NICU. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. They told me it was right down my hall, so whatever. And I was gonna pass out at that walk, but I was determined to see my child. And so I did. I got to see my baby. He was in an incubator. I'm allowed to reach in and touch, but I don't know that I did. I think I did, just his hands. And he was jaundice with low sugar and had problems breathing, which they say is normal in preterm babies. He was 37 weeks. I was 37 weeks when we had him, so yeah, that's my birth story. I walked back to my room and my Nana was there and she brought me food, so I ate real quick and then we went to go see Kylo and I held him for the first time. And then the next day, I believe, I had my mom come see him and he was put on CPAP under the Billy light, so no one could really see him. So Dad didn't even come for a couple days to come and see him because he would definitely bawl if he saw him with the CPAP and all these wires and everything. So once he was more comfortable he came and seen him, even though he was still on the Billy Light a little bit and still on the CPAP a little bit. But yeah, that is the story of my baby. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope I explained it good. I don't really, you know, have memory. My mom left after I gave birth, and then me and Chris stayed there. We were kept for like 4 days because I had preeclampsia, and obviously that whole bleeding incident, they wanted to monitor and make sure that I was a-okay. I have like 2 little stitches. Oh, you kicking. 2 little stitches I tore just a touch. But yeah, Kylo was in the NICU for 2 weeks. He came home on my 26th birthday, November 22nd. So we are 2 weeks apart. On a Wednesday, he was born. Yeah. And that is the story of my baby. I did have to leave him with my mom for a week because I ended up getting COVID right before Christmas, and that really sucked. But him and my mom are very much bonded now. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, give this video a thumbs up. Let me know what the most traumatic part of your birth was if you've had a baby, because mine was probably the almost bleeding to death thing, you know, like they didn't give me blood afterwards, so it probably wasn't as severe as that, but they did give me heavy iron, like a lot. Like my arm is still messed up from the IV, the iron IV that they gave me. So I don't know, they said it's an irritant. I don't know. Yeah, that's all. Bye.